I couldn't believe my eyes. They stood there on the edge, the wind howling around them. The enemy had them surrounded, guns raised, lights glaring. But Julian, he just laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. It was the sound of a man who had already planned every possible outcome. "You think you have the upper hand?" Julian shouted, his voice steady over the roar of the ocean below. He pulled a small remote trigger from his pocket. "I didn't just build a business. I built a fortress, and this bridge, it's rigged to fall." The lead mercenary froze, his face pale under the spotlight. Julian wasn't joking. With one click, the charges set at the bridge's support beams detonated. The ground beneath them shook violently. Elena didn't flinch. She grabbed Julian's hand, locking eyes with him. They had a split second before the structure gave way. "Jump," Julian whispered, his eyes filled with a fierce, burning love. They didn't hesitate. They leaped together into the dark, crashing into the freezing water, just as the bridge collapsed into the sea behind them in a massive cloud of dust and fire. The mercenaries rushed to the edge, but all they saw was churning black water. I stayed in the shadows, waiting, holding my breath. Minutes passed. The waves calmed, and then, about 50 yards down the coast, two figures pulled themselves onto the rocky shore. They were exhausted, battered, and dripping wet. But they were alive. Julian wrapped his coat around Elena, shielding her from the cold. He looked back at the wreckage one last time, then turned to her and wiped the dirt from her forehead. In that moment, the anti-villain was gone. There was only a man who had chosen his heart over his power. They walked into the darkness together, disappearing into the night, leaving behind the world that tried to destroy them. The story doesn't end with a victory. It ends with a beginning. They were finally free.